Let's all play What's My Line? What's My Line panel. First one of TV's top talents, that top drawer, upper drawer, Soupy Sales.
Thank you, and thank you, Johnny Olson. Right now, it's a pleasure to welcome back this week, on this beautiful day, the wonderful celebrated star of the hit Broadway show, The Boyfriend, Sandy Duncan.
Thank you. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce a columnist, an author, a publisher, and maybe a tap dancer, Bennett Cerf.
He's checking in.
Well, if I look a little peculiar, Arlene Francis cooked lunch for us today. And it'll never take the place of food, but it wasn't too bad. And here's the Betty Crocker of the television world, Arlene Francis.
That's the last time you'll eat at your expense. All right, here he is, our bright and shining moderator, Wally Bruner.
Well, thank you, Arlene. Welcome, everyone, to What's My Line. And with such an illustrious-looking and sounding panel, and if you all live up to your introductions, you'll have no problem getting a perfect score today with each of our challenges.
That's right.
Are you ready?
We're ready, you all.
Okay, here's your first challenger. Will you enter and sign in, please? John Chambers. Mr. Chambers, where are you from?
Burbank, California.
All right, panel, John Chambers performs the service, and now let's show our audience just what his line is. May I remind you it's a service you're after, and we'll begin with Arlene.
Thank you, Wally. Mr. Chambers, is your service of a physical nature?
Yes.
Do you move around?
You mean from town to town,
No,
or building to building, or chair
No,
to chair? or-
does he move around rather than staying in one position?
A little.
A little.
Not
Do you
necessarily.
wear something other than the suit and clothing that you have on now when you're performing this service?
That's one down, Super.
Mr. Chambers, are you in any way connected with politics?
No.
Two down, Sandy.
Would your service be something that, say, men as well as women would avail themselves of?
Right.
Would this service, would you touch the people in any way?
Yes.
When you're dealing with them?
Yes, I do.
And it has to do with, you touch them. Does your service have, is it instructive?
No.
No.
That's three down, Bennett Cerf.
Mr. Chambers, would you say that the people whom you deal with are in better condition, either mentally or physically, after they've seen you than they were before?
You could say yes and you could say no.
You could say sometimes,
Sometimes,
yes,
yeah.
and sometimes no.
Well, would you say that the service you perform is more physical than mental?
Yes, he said.
Yes.
When you touch them, do you touch them above the waist rather than below the waist?
I would say more often.
More
than
often,
not.
yeah.
More often. Would it possibly be above the neck occasionally?
Yes. Yes.
Would it be on the face once in a while?
Yes.
Do you apply anything to their face in the way of a cosmetic or a material of some sort or another?
I'd say yes.
Would it be applied to below the nose?
It could be.
Could be.
Could be. It also could be above the nose?
Yeah.
That's the damnedest thing I ever heard of.
Why don't you ask if it could be the nose?
Well, all right, I'll get a no. Is it the nose?
Yes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Would it have anything to do with this world of spectacles and glasses?
No.
4 down, Arlene.
Do you have a title other than Mr.?
No.
5 down, Soupy.
Do you ever use scissors in your work?
Yes, I do.
Are you a barber?
No.
6 down, Sandy.
Do you have anything to do with cosmetics in any way?
Yes.
You apply something to people's face.
Yes.
Some kind of gluck, like mud packs or something?
No.
No, I don't believe so. 7 down, Bennett.
Well, would you say you were a makeup man?
Yes, I would.
But John Chambers is indeed a makeup artist. He is head of the 20th Century Fox Film Company Makeup Lab, and he has his own independent makeup lab and services 80% of the makeup in Hollywood. You just about have things wrapped up out there.
A little.
A little bit,
Yeah.
yeah. And if he looks a little bit familiar, it's probably because you saw Mr. Chambers picking up an Oscar when he received an Academy Award for creative makeup design in the movie Planet of the Apes, right, John?
Yes, that's
No.
right.
What are you doing now?
Well, we just finished doing the makeup and masks for Beneath the Planet of the Apes. It's a new sequel to Planet of the Apes.
You know, the makeup on the apes really was fantastic. How long did it take to, transform a person into that?
It averaged about 2.5 hours, and we'd start about 3:30 in the morning and end up for camera about 8 o'clock. Go about 14 hours beyond that.
You mean
shooting.
the actors and actresses had to...
Right.
3:30 in the morning. Soup, how would you
3:30.
like a call like that?
Oh, boy, that's something. That's...
Do you make a rubber mask sometimes
Right,
for the
right,
faces and then make the mask up, huh?
Right.
You know, Mr. Chambers has brought with him an interesting series of pictures showing just exactly how this is done, I think, which we'd like to take a look at. Now, you're turning the lovely actress Kim Hunter into an ape lady, so John, will you describe the process as we watch on the monitor?
All right. Well, this is Kim at about 3:30, and she's just getting ready for the application of the appliances. These are all foam rubber appliances that are so flexible for those of you who've seen the picture Planet of the Apes. Now, they're all being put down with spirit gum. Now it's blending in the makeup around and the lip makeup. And the next step, you'll see where the hair is on now, and all that hair around the face there is all done by hand, laid by hand and curled with an iron. And it's a lot of meticulous work.
And this
Now,
is pretty close to the finished thing.
This is the finished product ending up here.
Very, very nice.
How do you get it? How do you get it exactly the same every day?
Well, these are multiple. I made multiply. Maybe for her case in the picture, we had something like 80 appliances made.
John,
Same appliances.
I'd like to ask a question, and it's really it's no put down of Maurice Evans and Kim Hunter. I saw the first picture, I thought was marvelous. It's such a great family picture. But I don't know why they would use names, because once the makeup, you wouldn't know whether it was Kim Hunter or Maurice Evans or Roddy McDowell or any of those people.
Yeah. Well, the actor shows through though. They were the people, and they were the ones that made the picture too.
Mr. Chambers, have you ever had a girl who looked better after you turned her into an ape than she was before?
Well, I could say yes.
But how about, now there were hundreds of people in some of the scenes. How about the extras and the background people? Did you have to make all of them up as well?
We did, but we made artificial masks. That was reasonably to say, and they were put on in a few minutes.
Well, we have a short sequence of the actual film, Beneath the Planet of the Apes. And John, would you set the scene up for us, because we'd like to take a look at it?
Sure would. The scene you're going to see is the ape general, James Gregory, talking to his ape city people, and he's trying to drum them up to do war on the Forbidden Zone, where strange things happen, and he wants to march into that Forbidden Zone. So you'll see David Watson, Kim Hunter, James Gregory, and Maurice Evans in the following scenes.
Okay, Lloyd, so may we see the film, please?
Therefore, our holy duty to put our feet upon it, to enter it, to put the marks of our guns and our wheels and our flags upon it. to expand the boundaries of our ineluctable power. And to invade. Invade! Invade!
Sir, please, as your husband, I beg you to stand.
Only for my principles.
All right, for your principles and mine. Only please, stand.
Well, John, as you said, you do not use makeup on many of the extras. What is it that you use?
Masks.
And you have...
I've got one here if you would like to see one.
Oh, yes.
Here's one right here.
Now, this is quite a... Hold it up so maybe Patty can get a look at it. What's this made of?
Well, that's just like a Halloween mask, but they cost about $250 for the type of work done on them.
See if it fits, Wally.
Oh, you're kidding.
Come on.
Not I. I'm
Yeah.
not kidding. I want to see which looks the best.
John, all I can say now, I guess, is thank you for being with us on whatever it was. John, thank you. And What's My Line will continue right after this word.
Well, that was a fun start. I hope they don't make me wear that all the time. The producer might think the show would look better that way.
No.
But let's try another challenger, will we? So would you enter and sign in, please? Eunice and Ina Grant. All right. Well, this is going to be twice as much fun. May I ask where you're from?
We're from London, England.
Oh, very well. Panel, Eunice and Ina Grant are not only both from London, England, but they are also sisters-in-law. And more than that, they are the doubles bowling champions of England. And more than that, they are members of the British women's bowling team, now on tour here in the United States. And more than that, when not at the bowling alleys, they both have the same occupation. I'll tell you, they sell a product, and let's show our audience just what their products is. Remember, panel, the ladies sell a product, and I think we better begin the game with Soupy sales.
Thank you. I thought maybe it was just that martini. The product that you sell, is it a product that is ever worn?
No.
One down, Sandy Duncan.
Is this product something that men and women use?
Oh, yes.
Is the product something that is small enough to hold in your hands?
Pardon?
Small enough to hold in your hands?
Oh, yes.
Uh-huh. And you never wear. Is this product something that is consumed?
Yes.
Was it ever growing? Either it was an animal or a vegetable?
Yes, partly.
Is it animal or vegetable? I think we have to say both.
Both. It's both. It's a combination of the two.
Not necessarily, but in a sense, yes, it's a combination of the two.
It's a combination of the two. And you do, is it, oh, I pass. Can't go further.
Is the product that you dispense liquid?
No.
That's two down, Arlene.
Is it this combination of products? Is it something that is quite famous in your country?
Yes.
Would it be anything like fish and chips?
Yes.
It would be.
Let me ask you.
You know, I really can't think of any other products that's a combination of both animal and vegetable.
That's why I thought of the animal and vegetables, fish and chips.
Can I ask you a question? Maybe it was just where I had fish and chips, and it's really a marvelous product, but do all the places that serve or sell fish and chips in London, do they all wrap it in the regular newspaper?
Well, they used to, but they don't so much now.
Is that because I know when I did it, they have newspaper and they just wrap it in newspaper.
Yeah.
And I read the sports section while I swallowed it.
That's it, yeah.
But Eunice and Nina, they sell fish at Grant's Fish and Chip stores in and around London. And as I mentioned, they're also the British doubles bowling champions. And how did you happen to start bowling competitively?
Well, we just went along for the amusement, you know, and
To
start with, and then we began to get a bit better and saw the tournaments and thought we'd like to enter, and it took it on from there.
What are your individual averages?
180, 184.
180 and 184. And you're all perfect games?
No.
Well, what's your high score?
260 managed.
And 267.
That's very, very good. Are you both right-handed bowlers?
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
And well, what are your first impressions of the USA?
Oh, it's
So
wonderful.
big.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? And are you going from city to city on your bowling tour?
We have been, yes.
We're going home tonight.
I see. So you had how long have you been here?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Just 3 weeks. Well, I understand that. What about the selling fish and everything? How'd you happen to get into that?
We married into it.
You married it?
Yes.
Yes.
And I understand your husband's...
Brothers.
Your brother?
Yes.
But they've been in the business a long time.
Oh, yes.
Family.
About
Yes.
3-4 generations.
3 or 4 generations. Well, ladies, we're delighted you could join us on What's My Line.
Thank you
very, very much. Would you say goodbye to the panel, please? We'll be back to meet our mystery guest as What's My Line continues. And here we are at that very special time of What's My Line. I see the blindfolds are securely in place, right, Pam?
Right.
So, mystery challenger, will you enter and sign in, please? Panel, as you know, it will indeed be one question at a time. I'll give you 2 minutes to try and establish the identity of our mystery guest, and let's begin with Sandy Duncan.
Mr. Guest, do we know you for your work on television primarily?
Yes.
Well, there's another area too, but it's hard to say no to television, but it's hard to give you a total yes. Bennett.
Would you also then be known as a motion picture star?
Primarily, you mean?
No.
No?
No.
Arlene?
Are you a performer on the stage?
Not really.
Soupy?
Did your fame come from recordings?
No.
Sandy?
Let's see. Are you appearing on a television show right now? In other words, do you have a series at the moment?
No.
Bennett?
Well, have you achieved fame in some form of sports then?
Yes.
Arlene?
Oh, are you appearing now in the Ice Follies? Are you the beautiful Peggy Fleming?
It is.
That's the second time you've done that.
And they do it very quickly, don't they?
Oh, I know. That's rotten.
But of course, Peggy isn't Shipstad's and Johnson's Ice Follies, but there is something even bigger in store for Peggy Fleming, right? A real starring role.
Yes, I'm getting married. It's coming up real fast, and
It's just a few weeks from now, isn't it?
Yeah, just about.
Is it someone in your profession, Peggy?
He's a has-been. He used to skate a long, long time ago. But,
Well, what do has-beens do, for example?
well, you know, he can skate around. We can skate together. That's about all. But he's in medical school now. He's in his 3rd year and doing very well. So I'm going to have a whole new life and be a doctor's wife someday.
That's lovely.
But you don't plan on
Congratulations.
giving up skating, at least in none of the near
No, I
future.
don't. I'll still be skating with the Ice Follies next year, maybe 25 weeks or less. So I'll still be skating quite a bit. He doesn't want me to give up my career and just sit home and, you know, make dinners and keep them warm in the oven for a couple of hours.
Doesn't he like your cooking or something?
He's learning. So am I.
Well, Peggy, our sincere best wishes to you and
Oh, thank you.
on your marriage and continued success. And I know you'll probably have another special
Thank
on
you.
television
I am.
this year too. So
Thank you
we'll
so
look
much.
forward to seeing you wherever
Thank you
are.
very much.
Thank you, Peggy Fleming. Watch My Line will continue right after this word. Now, panel, it's time for honest answers to questions from our studio audience as well as letters from our home audience. Okay. And let's start with this letter from Mrs. Florence E. Watts of Washington, D.C. Mrs. Watts writes, I wish someone would tell Arlene Francis to pull her blindfold down so that she can't peek out of one corner at the mystery guest. Arlene, what do you have to say to Mrs. Watts?
That you can say on the air.
Well, I'd like to say this, Mrs. Watts, wherever you are. I've done this show for 20 years. I think that I've won my service stripes through integrity and honesty. Jeez. And I think I could say the same for the rest of the panel. Nobody cheats.
You think that was firm enough?
If she felt my insides now, she'd know what I really felt.
Thank you, panel, for your honest answers.
That's it. We're going to end it on that note.
Do you have an appointment?
Yes, I certainly do. There's a beer drinking contest going on, and I want to get there and see who's going to finish second.
To see who's going to finish second?
That's right. You know who's going to finish first.
All right, well, I hope you're in shape to do this show again tomorrow, Soupy, because you've been scheduled, along with Sandy and Bennett and Arlene, and you have to be there, too, to make it all worthwhile. So won't you join us, please, for What's My Line?
I'll drink to them.
Hey, what the blank is going on here? What the blank is he doing? Hey, I know her and him. They're blanking hilarious. Whoa, get a load of this blank. Holy blank, this is funny. Match Game. You'll laugh your blank off today at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, only on Game Show Network.